One and all, there's finally hope for loueMT because Lucifron has picked the Mongol. He's going to fast Imperial Age, isn't he? Yep. And every time you age up in response, you lose villages. Yep. And that means he's going to be seriously economically ahead. Yep. Bring it on. Okay, loueMT chooses Knights Templar to make his last stand. Map is going to be Dry Arabia, the purest of pure. I'm not really sure what you do against fast Imperial Mongols here. I guess you have to send it if that's what this one's going to do. We saw a fast imp build by Krakedy actually up against House Lancaster that was even able to break them. And I think most people would agree right now, like if you're faced with either Lancaster or Knights Templar, you're a lot more worried about Lancaster. But opening is going to be the norm. It is going to be the Spear Rush. So Lucifron... Oh, this makes sense, actually. This makes a lot of sense. Because usually, Knights Templar, I want to say like 60% of the time right now, are doing 2TC. So even if you whiff on the gold, you can hit the stone. And that is a juicy blocker. You might even lean to the tree line, because, yeah, if he gets here, that's disgusting. I'd be surprised if he could get here and set up an outpost, but if you block stone and wood, I mean, that's the lifeline of Knights Templar. The best resource in the game is wood. You think this matchup benefits KT? Elaborate. So, my thoughts is there's just some areas that you're just going to look really bad in. So one is this. I don't know if Kingdom of France beats Mongols. I feel like no, because Keshiks. Keshiks should be able to beat Chevalier Concher. You have higher damage, and you heal. And you have less health of the scale, but otherwise, like, you're fine. Because I think it's, what, 160 versus 145? So, like, there's slightly more health for Chevalier, but they don't heal. Hospitalier, probably not against Keshiks. I think maybe Principality of Antioch might secretly be, like, a really, really effective option against Mongols. Because the armor of the Principality of Antioch on the Axemen lets them offset 30%, 33% of the damage from Keshiks. Looks like he's going to get his outpost up on the gold and the tree. So a little bit annoying for Louis, but not the end of the world. I wonder if Lucifron will try to turn this into a delayed 2 outpost. It always feels uncomfortable to go double outpost in Dark Age because you split the spears in a really unreasonable way. Because if you have like only 2 spears garrisoned here, then Louis can pull all the villages and burn us down. But this is kind of crazy, actually. When you think about this matchup, the initial impact, yes, you know, Lucifron's going to stay in the Dark Age longer, but Louis is already behind by bare minimum 2 villages in most cases. Like, you remember, it's normally meant to be 3, but Mongols move their TC at the start. Love this. Just sends a spin around the back, make sure his opponent isn't going onto stone. And loueMT with the correct reaction to archery range, but that's kind of sick. Silver Tree. We don't really see this landmark as much anymore. Kind of fell off in a big way. I think the problem is Silver Tree scaled really way too slowly. Especially against Pro Scouts. But Pro Scouts is heavily weakened now. And if your opponent is thinking 2TC, this is perfect. The spawn, not so much. Yeah, like there's 3 types of Dry Arabia. There is one spawn type with the trade post, which you never do Silver Tree on, which is behind your TC. There's a second one, which is slightly staggered like this, which is hard. It feels like you have to go diagonal to make it worthwhile. And then obviously there's a jackpot where it's in the corner. Wasn't Tower Rush accomplished when you're not gathering gold? So if he didn't want to do 2TC, it hurts him on the night scaling. But like this is the problem with Lucifron's play and why I thought he'd outpost here instead. Because the gold is just accessible. Lucy knew this as well. He even checked around the back on the stone. It's so unfortunate. So I don't think there's anything you can do in a rush here. Because Lucifron went for Silver Tree, he's going to be focused on scaling some economy. That also leaves him vulnerable. Your opponent's got archers. Archers are actually one of the best units to kill traders. And the second best has to be cavalry, which he's going to have a lot of. Double stable Chevalier. Don't know if you like this spawn for trade. This is the thing I was talking about. Like, usually when I see Dry Arabia, and this is why I've called Mongols a coin flip, see on this map. If you don't get corner trade options, usually your strategy becomes way too predictable. But what a monster. Are you... Okay, that's how you make trade worth it again. You've got to be kidding me. He's trading cross-map to loueMT's trade post. This greedy son of a gun. I mean, you've got to somewhat respect it. It's so dangerous, but I think the danger here really comes in the fact that if you now aggro up here to block Pilgrims, then Louis going to switch Pilgrims here. And that means that he'll see the traders because of the Pilgrimage. Yeah, I don't think the player's going to stay hidden for long. Calming while being a little bit of a nuisance with said Pilgrim. But Louis doing a good job of just bodyguarding all the way to the Sacred Site. Maximum gold income as well. Yeah, Lucifer's showing a lot of respect. So this is what I was talking about with the stats. You see that? So it's 15 on the sword, 23 on the lance, 145 health. But you also have more armor. This is why, like, Chevalier definitely do not want Kesha. Because although you have an extra 15 HP, you have 1 less melee armor, and your damage is what? It's before we even talk about the healing factor. I don't know. And this is reasonable, by the way. Like, Chevalier, they cost less. So you only pay 166 compared to 200. So you should be weaker than Akesh. But when you consider the stone scaling of the Mongols as well in the other game, it should keep them ahead compared to Chevalier. If, however, you decide to be lazy and you don't block the trade, or rather the Pilgrims for Knights Templar, there is a big growing risk here. Because the longer that you don't fight, the more it balances towards Louis in terms of his survivability. Because every Chevalier... Sofa with a lance? Yo, a sofa with a lance sounds really dangerous. You sit on this one. Oh, you meant those types of things. Damn, nice strike though. Double kill. Okay, so the Pilgrims... He's switched it up now. The Khan... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. No. Dude. Bruh. I think he saw it. Yeah, but it's going to be too late. Oh, this is so doing. He gets another one through. Meanwhile, Lucifer's traders just feel like traitors. They haven't really been able to achieve anything. And Louis, it's almost like he's got a stopwatch going. He's roughly gauging exactly when the next units will be coming out based on Silvertree's production speed. And then you add in, like, what, 5 to 10 seconds for walk pattern? Clever boy. Chevalier sounds like Chevrolet. I mean, it's kind of funny because I think a Chevrolet is probably worth about the same. Whoa! Guys, chill. They've come downhill. I used to play Midnight Club. I used to like my Chevys. Long time ago. There goes my opportunity to ever get a Chevrolet sponsor. Okay, like, full disclosure. Yeah, I'm just going to say it now because it's never going to happen. I mean, why would they sponsor Age of Empires? Dream car sponsor? Reasonable. Like, not like going McLaren and Ferrari like most people. Honestly, I always had a soft spot for Skyline. And I'm not even that much of a car guy. So looks like the outpost is going to go down. So re-secure on the gold. That's really important because Lucifer's getting to the point where he wants to raid. And that means now, like, you could pull back the safe gold. Actually, it doesn't even need to. He went double outpost on the back. Yeah, I've seen this type of style of Knights Templar from Louis before. He does the same thing against House of Lancaster, and he actually plays really, really well. It's just kind of a poor man's French. So what's Lucifer's out now? Is he starting to wish he'd just gone for the fast Imperial build? I mean, I really thought that was going to be his idea here. Because I don't think you can actually scale pilgrimages quick enough to mirror or match the potency of that play. You'd have to go 2TC. But 2TC is like vulnerable against an opening handful of Magadai. And now the Wolves. Ah, yes. I forgot for a moment here, because of how quick the games have been so far in this series, that we are watching a tournament series featuring one of the most prolific wallers that Age of Empires 4 has. Yeah, Louis. He's just one of those players that finds a way. I always say the Wallathon series is when you have Wham and Louis playing. Those guys, they find a way to get them up. All MT? No, no, no. You see, you got it, it's much easier than that. You just don't realize it. It's Walui. That's his Nintendo avatar. This is Walui. Or you can even just put an Italian accent on it. It kind of sounds like you're saying Waluigi. Go EL.loueMT. EL.loueMT. What was the matchup for Game 2? Game 2 was French versus Chinese. Yeah, so Lucifron is not really building that many traders because he can't, guys. He's blocked out pretty hard now. He just spawned a trader, and he doesn't have anywhere to trade with because the walls are going up. So now his only option is to deploy the silver tree down like here and diagonal trade to his own. He's in a really bad spot. And this is why I've vocalized a lot about Silver Tree before, is that Silver Tree actually sucks. It sounds really good on paper, but when you realize what it does to your game strategy, you don't like it. Mongols need to have options. I think Silver Tree makes you way too linear. You're investing into greed instead of aggression, and then you're the one who has to protect. And if there's something that Mongols are inherently bad at doing, it's defending. If you have trade out on the map, you have to defend. Give me a raid for attempt. EL.loueMT doesn't have enough time to get walls up. The Chevalier actually went around because the Spearman Mass is so big. So Louis, he's going to have to give a little bit of a breather here. So that's some bounty into the strong. That's good. I think Louis is just going to try to avoid the fight until he's got a distant archer. Probably wasn't expecting 25 Spearmen to turn up like this. Yeah, this is actually kind of uncomfortable. Louis' woodline also feels immensely threatened. That's a gap in production, which he can't really afford right now. No, I think he's starting to realize that Louis, if he just stands around like this, he's going to start to lose the game. So he tries to start marching across the map, maybe even to set reinforcements or go for economy. Because the other thing is, Lucifron doesn't have... He actually doesn't have wheelbarrow. His villages are absurdly slow. Good lad, though. He did at least get textiles, so respecting the night raids. This is crazy. Like, how has Lucifron pulled this one out? This guy is not human. Just as we thought there was going to be a new L taking to the podiums, I think Lucifron has something to say about it here. It's crazy as well because considering the similarities between Lucifron and Vortex, their playstyles, the way they practice together, Louis doesn't have an easy bracket. If he wins this series, it's going to be Vortex afterwards. Either way, if he manages to beat Lucifron, it's going to be a crazy matchup. If we get Vortex versus Lucifron, that's statistically the most likely to go all the way. It might be the quickest best of 5 you ever see. Flash coming in. Catching's benefit the more that there's no charges involved, because then it's lower base damage and more strikes. Archers are just trying to clear the way, but the Spearman blob's so big. Choke point defense is smart by EL.loueMT. Usually works when you've got enough archers, but 12 is nowhere near enough here. Louis. Dubious to say that he's going to be able to hold on here. Chevalier Confrère. Now fully accessed. He goes to the backstab. He pulls them out of the TC. He was waiting for him to overextend. The archers coming from behind. The mischievous EL.loueMT and his garrison shenanigans. Spear stand their ground, but the Chevalier Confrère try to carry it on through. Is this going to be a hold? Villager lead. Slightly built for Lucifron. Nothing too crazy so far. It did cost him a lot of troopers, but a lot of Chevalier melted as well. That was insane. Louis, I wondered when he was going to spring it. He had the villagers not in the TC. They ran away. This was fully garrisoned with archers because he needed Lucifron to create the space so that he could attack him safely. And Lucifron, of course, so thirsty, bloodthirsty for kills, was never going to do anything but dive here. Looks like he's going to get cleaned up now. A few more villagers to go down. Gets the shivs out. Not going to be enough to save in time, though. So another worker kill. Lucifron almost 10 ahead. And none of it traders. We've got Silver Tree at 16 minutes of the game and 0 traders. But this is shaky ground now for EL.loueMT. He's not got much food safe anymore. He burnt pretty much all the Chevalier Confrère. So for Louis to be in control of this game, the next goal now is to flank. your opponent has either gone pastures or he's playing onto deer and boar. You can actually see if he's playing on deer because you can just look through the stealth and see dead deer or a lack of deer. So for Louis, like his #1 prerogative now is to make Lucifron pay for losing the entire army. Goodness knows he needs to with this type of villager lead. No steeled arrow, by the way. Technically, Chevalier could do some damage here. They're going to dive in just for the worker kill. I believe, though, too many spearmen. And Louis, the issue here is he has got archers, but takes so long to arrive. What a way it would be to start a comeback, though. Like, #loueMT, with that type of defense, that might be the defense of this week. I think that is the single best defensive hull boost in out of a player so far this week. I mean, you maybe some more flashy ones, but like the imperative nature of that moment. True turning point at Louis. Where does he get the food for this? This is the crazy thing about Knights Templar. It kind of creeps up when you use that extra sliver of wood in there. Actually does matter a lot, but he's definitely been rushing onto the food sources. Was Prime Lucy better than Prime Vortex? I think so, slightly. But both were worse than a Prime used on this channel. Lucy going 2TC, it feels like... I think that dive, he was way too focused and lost focus on the macro a bit. But he's going to readjust now with mass patches. Meanwhile, oh, Louis, oh god, no. Come on. Like, this is rough. He doesn't have safety in food. We have 0 farms here. I think Louis' problem right now is he's being forced back to defend way too much. He needs to aggro and keep aggroing. With this many Chevalier especially. He's going to try to stab at it again, but Lucifron has been doing a good job of dodging death when necessary. Charging again. There is no steeled arrow, but the spearmen are too close. He's going to leak over towards the deer again, but just a handful of spears, man. This is the thing about Chevalier Confrere. They melt against spears. You know when you're like, knight beats spearman. It's never really that way with Chevalier. I think mathematically you can beat one spearman, one Chevalier, but you limp away barely alive. Louis still hasn't come back out here. He keeps trying, but this Keshik just keeps seeping in. Yeah, honestly, if any more villagers die near here, the deer are going to get a taste for villagers. Hey, that's a dangerous Age of Empires world. You know, when you're like, we're hunting deer, and you look down your scope, there's a deer behind you with a sniper scope looking at you. Rams now. He can't afford these dives on the outpost, he knows it. However, he might not be overextended. It's fighting Chevalier. He's fording the archers. I think his goal here is to lose archers for spears completely, and then Chevalier swarm. Yeah, and I love that. He's baiting the brace. That's intentional to stop him getting hit in melee. And there we go. He's going to charge in now. Movement speed arrow gets activated by Lucifron, but it just doesn't matter because Louis wanted the fight. Archer Micro seems to be on point. Actually made it simpler because Lucifron put all the spears on the north side. #loueMT is just getting a-click target down. Should count is looking strong though. 19 to 22. If Lucifron can get away with most of them, he can come back again later with a heal, but no. #loueMT pummels him on the exit. Lucifron once again with the overburdening onto wood. Yeah, this guy has some big macro issues right now. And it's not his fault. Like, he's stuck like this. If he runs out in the flanks, he's paranoid about knights. That's why he keeps doing this. It's giving more and more opportunities to Louis. Enough archers left over to spook the spears. One very brave villager, in a way. But this should be the dive in for the outpost, I think. He's got to be considering it. The longer you stand here, the worse it gets, because this archer count is getting defeated by the outpost. Our pilgrims continue. LoueMT just getting more gold injection. I wonder, does he have a marketplace? Because I wouldn't be surprised if he's trading. No marketplace. He's just balancing this out with food and wood. You can see how things are starting to kind of swing a little here because of the fact Lucifer's defending. Mongols, just as we highlighted earlier, it's not their prerogative as a civilization. And this feels like their prerogative for most gamers right now. Dying Mongols. That was so close. I think if there was not textiles, LoueMT would have done that dive. Reactions out, Lucy. Work difference. Number 10. Well, he just knows he needs something. I mean, do you think about going to Castle Age here is my thought process. You could upgrade the Chevalier. Fun fact about Chevalier, they're a fast upgrade unit. They only take 30 seconds, not the full 1 minute. Veteran Seaver Archers would take substantially longer, but I think he might just play full feudal to start. That's awkward though, because Luciferon has got the pasture switch in one location, so everything is here. If you can beat him in this fight, sure, game is over. The defender's advantage is real. What did Lucy do about traders? Ignored them. It was a bait. I'm pretty sure that's what Luciferon fans will say. Chevalier charging in here though. Archers. This is awkward. Luciferon, the way he has to fight here. Move speed arrow gets activated, but love that body block from Louis. Just stops the Keshik from reaching. He's keeping his distance so perfectly here. We're going to have the same situation again. If we see a peel to the east side and spears stay there, Louis could do what he done last time. He's going to just sacking those archers. This is smart. He's fighting towards the choke point, so melee can't concave. Okay, these fights are just getting better and better for Louis now. He also just got a huge influx of food again. Yeah, the boar. So this is kind of do or die time for LoueMT. If he waits much longer, he's going to be out of resources. He has got a handful of farms up, but only 15. Whereas your opponent's got like 10 pastures. And this is smart. He takes the age. Genoa it is. Okay, so you could go Genoese crossbowman against the spears, but this is more just about the extra gold influx. Yeah, like I don't think the unique units matter much. You could argue armored spearmen, but it's just more important to get more gold. We need to be careful not to overextend. Luciferon. We've seen him move towards these choke points and get punished before. Can that force him back? Louis, yeah, so I wonder if Lucy's suspicious at all, because usually Luciferon's suspicious rather, because Louis is usually a bit more aggressive on the retreat. Ah, okay, that might offset suspicions. Yeah, that little raid on the backside gives him space. So, tech up complete. Luciferon now an age behind. And the Chevalier are going to be upgrading 25. This is go time. I don't think you wait for Vet Archers, because if you wait for Vet Archers, your opponent will get Vet Keshiks. And a Kurultai defense here is big. It's a melee blob, but like it's the way you survive. Time to tell us what you're made of here. Chevalier upgrade in 5 seconds. Doesn't know the landmark is being built right now. More villagers about to be pulled away. Alarm bell should be ringing. We do have Seek Shelter. That's a lot of AFK time actually for Luciferon. Few villagers lost here, but the Kurultai complete. Okay, so Luciferon not dead yet. Louis knows he needs to go. The silver hats are in. Death to sheep. We don't see any of them in our crusades. Okay, if he can brute force him off the Kurultai. Easier said than done though. Veteran Seaver Keshik's just a few seconds away. Louis, he is switching to Genoese crossbowman. Slow, very slow unit. But wait, Luciferon, he brings the villagers back! Chevalier starting to leak over onto them. Shivs are going to be out. They have got the Kurultai buff with the heal as well. He brings everything for the defense. And it looks like it's going to work. EL.loueMT, he still doesn't have the veterancy for archers. He's going to get wiped underneath the Mongol town center. He holds. Lucifron. What a sick maneuver there. The villager losses stack up, but it was that or lose the game instantly. He could still lose it 5 or 10 minutes from now, but Lucifron, at least for now, gets a huge stay of execution. But you can just see how high the cost is. A 13 villager lead now for EL.loueMT. And Woodmass allowing... That's rag strat. Okay. So Spears it is. EL.loueMT still has a decent number of Chevalier, of course. And they are still circling around the Mongol base, but Lucifron knows after a hit like that, it is go time. Step Lancer upgrade? No, he didn't get it. Like, you don't have the resources at that point. You don't have the time. He was able to get the veteran scene, and that was it. Genuine's crossbowman behind the wood line now. Behind the wall, rather. And yeah, this is the full melee comp, so if he can get the repairs... No, that doesn't... No, that's not going to work. That's too late. Uh-oh. Villagers have to run away. Nice. He does get in the garrison quickly. Minimizes any losses. Chevalier is still diving the base, by the way. Oh my god. It doesn't... Like, this attack doesn't matter. If he can't end the game now, he's dead. Genuine's crossbows start stepping away. Once again, the Kurultai gets griefed out of a fight. The Chevalier are still murdering him. The Onion Knights just seem to be unstoppable here. Oh my god. There's a park spot here for the Kurultai, but like there's barely any army left for it. And here come the Spears. Like, this has to be the wave of the white flag moment. Again, Spears, what do you really have here? Chevalier have at least been pushed away, but damage, irreparable damage it feels like done. All right, this is a game of the week. From the hold to the turn to the fold, EL.loueMT makes an insane comeback.